Hello. Good afternoon, my Facebook family. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's Tuesday. It's beautiful day. I don't know where you are, but it's so beautiful in Georgia here. I pray that wherever you are, it's as beautiful as you. But thank you so much for joining me this morning for the whole month. It was very interesting because that wasn't really the topic. We just celebrated our 18 years of God's faithfulness. I think it was May 5th, and we decided to do a nice special edition of 18 years. How God have helped me and my husband to come this far. And it's a really tend to be the whole month now because of the questions and some of the comments I've received from you viewers, and the things that people really want to know, how we manage to have time for each other because we are all busy, how we put our family together, how we handle, is it God first, is it our family first? And it has been a wonderful, actually I've really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to talk about some 3 powerful keys that will really make your marital institution that you find yourself in work very powerfully. And also, if you are not even married yet and you are trusting God, you still want to know these 3 keys that's going to really help you, that as you are going around trusting God for a better partner, when the person comes, you'll be able to learn from each other and share this powerful key. So that's what we're going to look at today. So please share the video with somebody, tag somebody to come in. If you are in a group, please share it. I've noticed that even when we finish the show, a lot of people watch later, and I'm very grateful. I always say that I can't be standing here without you. You have made this show possible. You have shared it, you have comment, you have inboxed me. I mean, it has been a blessing, and we want to reach out to a lot of people. Next Tuesday, I'm having one of my girlfriends join me here, and we're going to talk about ministers and their wife and how they do ministry with their wives and everything. So it's going to be very wonderful. And this summer, you don't want to miss anything. Whether you're on vacation, whether you're on cruise, wherever you are, you don't want to miss Woman of Influence, because this summer I have some powerful topics for you that is going to really make your summer, heavenly. So you don't want to miss me this summer. So thank you once again. Share the video with somebody, tag somebody to come in. I will try right now to see if I can share mine. Let me see, my thing is off here, because sometimes I make a mistake. I happen to have to share my iPad with my blessing, so it's always something else. So share the video, tag somebody to come in. If you are in a group, let them know that we are on, and it's going to be a blessing. We're looking at some of the points that is really going to help you to have a wonderful married life and just enjoy each other. There's one thing I always say is that you don't want to endure. I think life is so short. My husband always says that life is so short. And it's very complicated. So you don't want it more complicated. Okay, so you want to trust God and make sure that you are enjoying as you are living. Because guess what? If you are married with your husband 20 years, even one day, 5 years, 2 years, whatever, how long you guys have been together, that is your life. That is your life sharing. So you want to trust God and have the best out of it, but not just to endure it because of the children. So you have to kind of endure pain. There's no peace. Our home is like a war zone. you know, and it even affect our children. They're going to school and all those things. So it's very, very important we trust God to have a peaceful home, to have a peaceful life, have a peaceful in every aspect of our life, especially with our partners, our husband. So it will really, really help us. I don't know about you, but I've been trusting God to have a peaceful life. I don't like when there's tension and all those things. It really distracts me. So I try as much as possible and trust God that my home will be no free zone. Everybody is free. Everybody can express themselves. Everybody love God, and everything is just quiet and neat and everything. And it takes work. It really takes work. So today we are going to look at that. We are looking at some of the things that will really help you to have that strong love life. So thank you so much once again for joining me. My husband is going to join me in a few minutes, so we can start and then talk about some of the few things that will really help us to have such a wonderful thing here. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining me. We are still trying to work on our video. It look a little bit dark, but we will work on it and see how bright we can get it to be. Thank you. That we can, get it to be. So thank you once again for joining me. We're trying to figure things out here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for everything. And just work with us for a few minutes. We will be good. We will be good. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Finally here.
All right, so thank you once again. We are talking about 3 needs in every marriage that must be met. So some of the things that we really want to make sure that is in our marriage, so that it will be the strong marriage that God have ordained it to be, and we will have a wonderful time with each other. So that's what we are trying to figure out here. So number 1, we says that the need of love, when we say the need of love, sweetie, what do we mean by the need of love?
I believe that everybody needs love, and if your marriage is going to work, there has to be love. And marriage, it's not just about being together. It's about finding somebody that you deeply care about, you love, and if the love need is not met, you can be in a marriage, having sexual relationship and intercourse with a person. If that need is not met, there will not be a real fulfillment in the marriage, and that can lead to the marriage breaking down. And I think in our previous broadcast, we have always spoken about the importance of love and the various types of love. We have spoken about the agape love, that unconditional love, where I love you, and it's not based on what you do for me, what I get from you, or what I need from you. I just love you because I've been instructed and commanded by God. That kind of love is beyond human understanding. And I believe that love is generated by God. And when we are submitted to Christ and we allow Christ to fill our hearts, it's easy to give those kind of love out. It's based on, the pure love of God. I just love you because I've been instructed and commanded by God to love you. And in Romans chapter 5, verse 5, it said, for the love of God is being shed abroad in our hearts. So it's imperative that every marriage have that kind of love. Number two, there also have to be a romantic love, what we call the eros. Okay, that need must be met. Okay, I see my wife, she appeals to me sexually. She appeals to me physically. When I see her, there is a beauty on her that attracts her to me. There has to be that kind of love too, and vice versa. And I also believe that the love as friends, couples must be friends. If a husband, your best friend is not your wife, and if a wife, your best friend is not your husband, there's a problem to come. Because if you have friends that are closer to you in your ears, who you listening to more than you listening to your spouse, it's going to create a friction. It's going to create a problem. You will have a problem. And so I recommend highly that if your marriage is going to work, then the need of love must be met. And that love, as having your spouse as your best friend, loving your spouse as your best friend, will make that marriage work. It's very important we look into that. And then also, you must also see your spouse like a brother or a sister. I want to be close to my wife, please. Excuse me.
Make sure your hand, that's why we
okay.
Yeah. That's why we push you a little bit because of your hand.
I didn't know that. I have issues with my hand.
Yeah. It's like not in a pulpit. In a pulpit you have the whole thing too.
Anyway, so you need to love your spouse like your sister or a brother. And when that need of love is met, I believe it makes the marriage stronger, because love is a very powerful thing. And everybody wants to be loved. And there are different kinds of love. Everybody wants to be loved, and everybody needs love. So I believe that it's very important, if a marriage is going to work, that need of love must be met.
All right, let me ask this question. Sometimes people says that, okay, I don't feel love. You don't love me. Is there something that you do that make people feel love, that make people know that, oh, okay, my husband loved me, my wife loved me? Is there something that you do that will let people, or your partner?
Love is caring, love is giving, love is understanding, love is peaceful, love is joyful. And I believe that when you genuinely love somebody, it can be felt, it can be seen. How you talk to me, how you handle me, what you give to me, what you do to me will let me know you love me. And so when someone feels like they're not being loved, you remember my birthday, you go the extra mile to take care of me, you make sure that my needs are met. These are all signs of love. People can do that easily and still not love, because they can see it as a duty. But you cannot love and not do these things.
Oh, okay.
You can do these things and not be in love. But you cannot be in love and not do these things. And so usually people question, if you say you love me, how come you talk to me this way? If you say you love me, how come you don't remember my birthday? You don't remember that you are supposed to do this for me when you promise you do this for me. When you love me, you think about me. When you love me, you are there for me. When you love me, you will care for me. When you love me, even when I make mistakes, you are patient with me. So love does a lot of things. And love can be felt. And people can tell when you truly love them. Do you understand? People can tell when you truly love them. And so when somebody feel like, this man say he loves me, yet he doesn't remember me, he leaves and goes, never calls me, doesn't think about me the whole day, doesn't check on me. I mean, if you love me, I will be on your mind. If you love me, I will be on your thoughts. So these are some of the things that people can easily look and judge and can tell whether their spouse love them or not. All right?
Oh, okay.
It's important.
Yeah, please, if you are joining us, we are talking about some of the powerful things, especially 3 keys that we really need in our marriage that will going to make one feel love, that will also make our relationship very, very strong with each other. So that's what we are talking about. Please take a few minutes of your time and share the video for me. Make sure you tag somebody in. If you are in a group, just go ahead and share it. Let it be a blessing with somebody. I think it's going to be a blessing with somebody. So we are talking right now, we are talking about love. You know, there are some things that when you do, it make your partner know that, okay, this is love. Okay, and Bishop make a statement that is very, very interesting. You know, like taking care of them, caring, birthday, taking them out, and all those special small things that you do. Everybody can do that, whether they are in love or not. But if you are in love and you are not doing it, then you are not in love.
Yeah.
You understand? So you can't tell your wife, you can't tell your husband, I love you so much, but what you do for them, you don't put a thought in it. It's a questionable thing. If you love somebody, you have to put thought in every small things you are doing for them. It's very, very important. And then we wrote here that love is more than sex.
Yeah.
Love is more than sex.
Yeah.
So, but sex is also very important.
Yes.
Within the content of...
Yes.
Okay.
When what we are doing is based on love, everything becomes meaningful.
Okay.
But when what we do has no love, you see, in actuality, sex is only supposed to be expressed in the context of a healthy, loving marriage relationship.
Yes.
When people are just having sex, it's not love.
Okay.
When we are having sex in the context of marriage, it's called love making. Because these are 2 people who are committed to each other in love.
Okay.
So when we say sex is not just about love, in other words, the only time I love you or I show to you that I love you is when I need sex. But you can't be having sex all the time.
Okay.
So what happens when I don't have a need for sex? That's why I said that one of the types of love is what we call eros. Eros is the sexual love, is the romantic love. So it's just one segment of the love that I need in a marriage context. I need friendship.
Okay.
I need somebody I can relate to like a sister or a brother. I need somebody who I can handle like a mother or a father in a marriage relationship. All these things must be in there if the marriage is going to work.
Okay.
All right. So when we talk about marriage, I mean, love is more than just sex. There have to be first love before sex.
Okay.
If there's no love, then there can't be sex.
Oh, okay.
Or it's rather unfortunate that in this generation, we just think that having sex with somebody means that you love the person. But that is not necessarily true.
True. Okay.
And we need to come to the place where we are truly, understanding God's purpose of love in marriage.
Okay.
And we give it our 110%, effort to make sure that we are building on love in a marriage. The reason why a lot of relationships are in trouble today is because it's not based on love. It's not based on love. And we need this. It's important. We need it.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be asking this because we are talking about marriage here. I've noticed that sometimes in the relationship, people use sex as a bargain. Okay, if you are not giving me this, or if you are not doing this for me, then I will not sleep with you.
Are you a prostitute?
So we have women, because my husband is not doing his duties and this and that, me too, when I'm going to bed, I will put a jeans on, and vice versa. Is that Love?
It's totally wrong and it's immaturity. And in my counseling session, I tell people never ever use sex as a bargaining chip.
Oh.
If you do that, then you and a prostitute, there's no difference between you. Okay? The reason why there can be rape in a marriage is because when a person gets to a point and he thinks that, oh, I cannot voluntarily give myself to you, and a man violates the person, then there's rape. And vice versa. If you also think that, okay, because you didn't remember my birthday, I'm not going to sleep with you, you are doing the same thing in the opposite.
Oh, okay.
And that is not maturity. That's not healthy. That is not godly. And we even teach about getting to a point where you have to do or give sex out as a duty.
Yeah.
In the context, yes, in the context of the marriage. Because once you are married to a person, then there is a contract, if I can use the word, because marriage is a form of a contract that has been put in place. And you are setting duties and obligation.
Okay.
But what we are saying here is that when love is at work, ladies and gentlemen, the environment is beautiful. The environment is enjoyable. The environment is free. The environment is cordial. These things can happen easily, free, without stress. When we are not loving, when we are not doing what we need to do, that's where we get to a point where somebody thinks that because you didn't do this and this, me too, I'm not going to give you sex, or I'm not going to eat your food, I'm not going to do this for you. Then we are becoming childish, we are becoming immature, and Satan can take advantage of that to destroy our family and our home.
Wow. Yeah, because my whole thing that I normally tell people is, if you don't give, somebody might give. Okay? We have some people out there that they don't even have to beg them. They go to, your husband go to the office and people are throwing themselves freely, scholarship, on them. And then they come home and you two, you are playing games. I don't think it helped. It doesn't really help the relationship. It doesn't really help the relationship.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I think that usually here is the challenge, especially, and this is an advice to our Christian sisters.
Oh, yes.
All right? We assume that, oh, my husband is a God-fearing man. So if even I don't give him sex, if even I don't treat him well, he's going nowhere.
Yeah.
So we begin to take these awesome men and women of God, or men of God who fear God, for granted. Wow. And we begin to deny them. So you wake up, you don't even keep yourself well. You won't bathe, you won't dress well, you don't dress in a way that is appealing to your husband. Wow. Because, oh, he's a Christian brother, he has nowhere going, and you begin to take him for granted. Why? Because, oh, he fears God, he's in the church, he's a leader, he's a pastor. Most people, please remember, your husband may be a Christian, your husband is a pastor, but he's also, he also lives in a physical body. And this physical body has needs. Okay? We've seen genuine, nice Christian brothers who are falling into sin because they were pushed into it.
Wow.
Because when this body begins to demand and require for sex, and you don't give it to it, and I'm talking about, I am married, and I know I can have access to sex, but I'm being denied it. And your body is craving for it. And your husband goes to work or goes out there and is mingling with ladies. Yeah. And they are, throwing this thing at him. Okay? What you are trying to keep away, deny him, which is his rightful, right within the context of the marriage, which you are denying him. He goes to work, he goes to church, he goes to fellowship, he goes around, and he meets people at the mall who are willing to hit on him.
Oh, yes.
And offer this thing for free.
For free.
He may end up falling, not because he's a bad person, not because he wants to go and fornicate or commit adultery. It's because you pushed him. Because if you give me sex in the house, just like if you give me food to eat, and I'm well fed in the house, and my stomach is full of food, and I step out of my house, and somebody say, oh, can we go to dinner? I'm like, no, I just ate. I'll pass.
Yeah.
If I have a lot of good sex in the house, and I step out and I go to work, and I go to church, and I go anywhere, and anybody wants to throw sex at me, guess what? I've had a lot of it. I'm already full. I don't have the craving and desire for more. I'm talking about normal Christians and normal human beings.
Yes, yes.
Now, you know, some people are crazy, you know.
Yeah.
They may eat in the house and then go still
go there. You know, but you know, I want us to stay here a little bit, because this is what I think is killing a lot of marriage, especially in the church. Have you ever sat down and thought of why there is so much divorce in the church now than even out there? These are some of the things we take for granted as women and men of God. Then we allow the enemy to come in. It's very, very, very important. And please, ladies, take care of yourself. Okay? Take care of yourself. I know you have children. I know. Okay, I know you just even have a baby, or you just have like a 1 year or 2 years and all those things, and the mess in the house and everything. I've been there before. Okay, I have 3 children, so I'm not talking like somebody who don't have children. Take care of your home. Make your home a palace. Make your home invited. Clean up. Okay, don't do laundry. Don't do your children's laundry and go and put it on your master bed for 3 days and just push it at the corner. I mean, there is nothing that you are doing as a Christian woman or as a wife in your house that is inviting. That is inviting. You wake up in the morning, you won't comb your hair because you are in the house. So you won't comb your hair, you won't put maybe a little bit lipstick to something. I'm not saying do a makeup in the house. I mean, everybody is different. Okay, but take care of yourself. Be conscious that you are not living with a wood. Your husband is not a wood. There is a blood running in your husband. And guess what? When they go out there, they see things. They see things for free. Okay, so when they come home, let them see what they have. Can you imagine they go out there and seeing things for free, and they come home, and the one that they have the privilege to have to, you wear a long skirt as if you are going to the altar to pray, and so many things, and these things, your husband go out there and fall, and then you cannot forgive, and you are holding things, then you are married 2 years, 3 years, and there is a divorce. And sometimes I think it's because of our actions. We not putting details on some of these things. Okay, some of these things. When you are cooking for your husband, put a thought in it. Cook it in love. When you cook it in love, it comes out perfect than when you are cooking it like you don't want to be in the kitchen. You know,
yeah, or you are doing it as a duty.
You know, all those things. You know, all those things. And I'm saying here, ladies, I know sometimes we ladies, you know, with our hormones and everything, most of the times, not all the time, because some ladies who really, really love sex, you know, but some ladies too, with our hormones and everything, sometimes, I mean, we can live 3 months, even if you don't touch us, we are fine. Okay, and if you are such a person, please have sex as your duty, not just because you want it or you want to have it, but you have to have it because you want to save your home. It's very, very important.
And no, let me touch on that. I don't see why a normal human lady doesn't want to have sex for 3 months. Maybe you need a therapist. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Something may be wrong somewhere. And if you are married to a man and for 3 months you don't want to have sex, it's going to create a tension. Because even the Bible talks about it that do not deny one another, and except for a mutual consent for just a period. Let Satan take advantage of you. Mm-hmm. Bible recognizes the fact and the power of what Satan can do with our sexuality if we don't pay mind and do what is required of us. What you also need to understand here, sex was created by God.
That's it.
It's not man who created sex. It's not the devil who created sex. You know, sex was created by God, and it's a beautiful thing to be expressed within the context of a loving marriage relationship.
Yeah.
All right. So I really want to encourage that the need of love be met, which includes sex, which include caring for one another, which include being affectionate towards one another, and being kind and generous with our words, with our thoughts, with our time, with our very life, with our gift, with our money. Because if love is in place, everything else falls in place.
Yes.
If I truly love you, I care about you, and I'm doing what I need to do for you, the rest will just follow. It's just like the scripture says that, you know, seek ye first the kingdom of God and every other thing. Once my heart is for the kingdom, once my mind is for God, the rest will follow. But if I don't love, it will be difficult to give my body to you.
Yes.
If I don't love you, it will be difficult to give you generous words. If I don't love you, it will be difficult to give you my money. If I don't love you, it will be difficult to give you my time and my affection. So I think it all boils down to meeting that first need of love.
Love. Oh, thank you so much for watching. Please, if I haven't mentioned your name, I've noticed you are watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Continue to share the video for me. Thank you for your comment. Please let your comment be coming. Pastor Barbara says that the way person conduct themselves in marriage is a reflection to their relationship with God, which is very, very
That's
important.
true.
It is.
Yeah.
Many married couples do not comprehend the big picture. Without sex,
Without holding sex.
without
Withholding
withholding sex is the symptom of a bigger problem. Hurt people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good.
That's true.
It is, because if you are as a wife and a husband living in the same roof,
Yeah.
lying on the same bed,
Yeah.
and not having sex, it means you are having it somewhere.
Yeah.
No.
It's true.
Yes. No, it means you are having it somewhere. You
Yeah.
are getting it somewhere.
Yeah.
Because if you, as I said earlier, the men are not wood. If there's blood running in you, both sides, and you are living together, doing everything together, and sex, you are withholding sex, it means you are getting it from somewhere.
That's
It's
so
really- yeah.
that's so true. Please keep sharing
Yeah.
the video and then put your comment in there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Thank you all for watching. Mahakalan is there. Pastor Jerry is there. Of course, Pastor Kingsley, man of God, England. Thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for all for watching. I notice you are there. Please, I know you are there. Thank you so much for watching. We are talking about some of the powerful keys that will really help us for our marriage to be very strong and not have any bumps and divorce here and there and fight here and there, but have a godly marriage that is going to bring glory to God and make an impact in our life. It's very, very important. So thank you so much for joining. Continue to share the video. If you have any comment, please bring it, and as much as we can, we will read them. So we say that love is more than money. Love is more than money.
Yeah.
But money answered all things.
Yeah.
Okay, and money is very, very powerful. Money make vacation possible. Money make everything possible. So why is love more than money?
Love is more than money, because if you look at money
Okay.
and you follow after money,
Yeah.
and there's no true love. I've seen people, I think Sunday was one of the days I was saying this, that I've seen rich people who have bought big mansions, stuff it with a lot of good things, bought nice cars.
Yeah.
I even told you that some of them have their own private salons where they hire people to come and fix their
Yeah. And you said that one day
I'll do that
you're
for
going
you.
to do that for me.
Amen. The Lord helps me.
I remember, I'm keeping it. I'm
So you can see all these things, and then you wonder why the woman will still cheat, and the man is baffled and won't understand. I've given you a house, I've given you a car, I've given you, clothing, I've given you a private jet, I've given you all these things. And a woman will tell you, I don't want the house, I want you. I need you. Yes. Because love is more than money. Love is more than the material things. So when a person needs love, and you think that just throwing material things to them, that will satisfy them, you're missing it. When the husband needs the wife, and the wife thinks that because I give you good food, I give you this, I give you that, that's enough. No. That is not enough. If your wife needs your attention, please give your wife the attention. We've seen many people who have pursued their career. We've seen many people who have pursued their ministry. We've seen, and they've done these things to the ruin of their home and their marriage. Wow. When your child needs your love, and you think that because I bought you a big mansion, I put you in a good college, and so I can't get daddy on the phone, I can't get mommy on the phone, and you are wondering why the child is rebelling. And sometimes all these things they do is because there's a vacuum. They are in need of love.
Wow.
A father's love, a mother's love, a husband's touch, a wife's touch. So love is more than money. So thinking that because I buy you clothes, I buy you this, I buy you ring, I buy you this thing. Listen, you can't buy people love with money. They want you, your attention, your affection, the kind. Pick the phone, be intentional, send a text. Sit down, go out together, go to the vacation. Yes, and the vacation here is not even about the spot you go at. Yeah. Because sometimes people think that, well, we need a lot of money to go to. You can go to Hawaii. If there's no love there, you will fight in the plane.
And
fight and come back. Yes. Because there's no love. But then if there's a love, you can walk to your local park.
Yes.
And set up a basket, put up a blanket, and sit on there and have a romantic time. And the marriage will still stand. Yeah. We're not saying that money is not good. We are saying that money cannot replace the place of love in a relationship.
So I think prophetess says that material things will not maintain marriage. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
It doesn't maintain marriage. But what happens when somebody also says that, I love you so much, but will not share their money with you?
That's not love. We just spoke about that. Okay. Love is giving. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Yeah. I am yet to see a true love that doesn't give.
Okay.
So a love is always giving. And for me, every time somebody is giving, okay, beneath it is a genuine love. Okay. Yes, we know sometimes people out of selfishness, when they are trying to bait you, when they are trying to do this thing, and when people are also greedy, like gold diggers and things, can go out looking for that. But I'm telling you that true, genuine love is always giving. So I find it difficult when a man says, I love you, but then they can't share their all with you. That right there tells you that these people have not expressed the full love for their spouse. Remember again, we said the English word will tell you love. But when you look at the Greek and Aramaic, there are different words that are used to mean love. Yeah. Okay, maybe the love I love for you is only romantic. I only love you because I need somebody to have sex with. Okay. So you are my sex partner. So anything that will make that happen, I'll keep you there. That's what a lot of people, we see that in the world. We see that in Hollywood. So men will say, oh, this lady is the most beautiful, eligible, lady in Hollywood. So all the guys want to go and date the person and sleep with the person. And after they sleep with the person, 2-3 years, they say, oh, I'm away with you. I'm going for the next person. But true, genuine love is always looking to give. It's beyond sex. It's beyond the physical look. I want to be with you. That's what will make a man wants to take a woman to the altar and exchange vows and say, today do us part. In sickness, in pain, in riches, in all. You are mine and I'm yours. So genuine love always give. So when somebody say, I love you, but then they want to keep some part is a suspect.
It is. Thank you so much once again for joining us. What about acceptance? Acceptance, because I think when we were going through how God have really helped us for 18 years, we spoke about it very intensively because it was part of how we have really been able to accept each other, you know, with all our flaws and everything, but just accept each other and love beyond our weakness and everything. So how can we really accept our partners when it comes to
here is the truth. Here is the truth. Most people, ladies and gentlemen, most people have not truly come to the place where they have accepted their spouse. Okay? In marriage, there is a need for acceptance. One, you need to accept yourself. Number two, you need to accept your spouse.
Wow.
What does that mean? It means simply this way. There are some things about your spouse, it will not change.
Wow.
You can't change. And I think we've mentioned it since we started this series, that don't ever go into marriage with a mind that you are going to go change. Your spouse.
Yeah.
No, go into the marriage with a mind that I'm going to change myself. Because you need to change yourself to adjust, to adapt to the new person you are married to. And if you are not willing to adapt and adjust, then you are not going to succeed in a marriage. Wow. And that all comes with acceptance. If I accept that, hey, this is my wife, this is how she acts and behaves. Some of us, we are a bit clumsy. We take things from here. We don't remember to come and put it where we took it. We go and put it somewhere else. Okay? It's not like we mean to do that. And then you marry somebody who is so meticulous. She takes something from here. She remembers to put it back there. She wants things in a certain kind of way. Want things done at a certain period. And they do it perfectly. And you are wondering why my husband can't do the same. And if you are not careful, this becomes a bone of contention. And you are always arguing. When we got married, here's this. My issue here is this. I sit in the living room, I take off my ties, I take off my shoes, I take off my socks, and I leave them there.
Extension of the
wardrobe. And we have spoken about it, and in my heart of hearts, I don't want to do that. But I keep seeing myself doing that because I've done it over the years and has become part and parcel of me. I mean, by the grace of God, I've changed, a little bit.
50%.
All right, thank you. At least I have 50%, so I've done well. It was very bad, but now I'm 50%. I'm working on it. But it got to a point where she has to accept that it's a form of weakness. It's a form of challenge. I don't mean bad. I don't mean ill. It's a form of. So what I do now is this. When I come back and I want to change, I go straight to my wardrobe and then change over there, take my stuff, put it where I need to put it before I come to the living room. I avoid a lot of problems. But in case I forget and I do that, she has come to the place where she doesn't talk no more. All she does is that she clean up.
Yeah, I just put it where he cannot find it. Next time.
But that is part of the acceptance. Okay? There are some of us, we have certain weakness. Like somebody calls you and leave a message. Give it to your wife. You forget. It's not like your husband wants to forget or your wife wants to forget. It's just part of their weakness. Can you accept that this is what my wife is? Because when I accept this person as the person is, then I'm in a good and a powerful position to be able to help the person better. But if I don't accept the person, I become resentful, I become judgmental, I become angry, and anger doesn't solve any problem.
Anything.
So it will rather create more tension and more problem. So there is a need for a genuine acceptance in a marriage. Accept your spouse as they are. And when you accept them, then it means that you have to adapt and adjust. You have to adapt and adjust. Then you can be in a good position to help the person to reform and to change.
Yeah, and I think one thing I've really noticed about accepting people is, it's not like it's like you are supporting the weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you accept them in love, eventually they change.
Yeah.
Okay, eventually they change. But if you're going to complain about it
and attack them
and again, they feel like you are attacking them. And once they feel like you are attacking them, they're not changing because they want to protect themselves. So even when you are talking, it's going over their ears. But if you accept them as they are, people change, things change, situations change. As we are going, a lot of changes. I mean, you cannot live with somebody for 5 years, 10 years, and there won't be a change. We will change. I have changed a lot. I don't know, for 18 years, I have changed a lot. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know whether it's me again. But I have gone through a lot of change, and most of them, I mean, like 100% of them, are really, really positive change.
Yeah.
Really, really positive change. So just accept the person and encourage, support, and out of it, they change to be the best person you can ever have.
So acceptance is a need that everybody needs in a marriage. Why can't you accept me? And some people, some of the things they do in a marriage, it's all crying for acceptance. Will you accept me as you are? And when you accept a person, then you will not be comparing them to somebody else.
Yes.
Don't compare your wife to your mother. Don't compare your wife to your sisters. Don't compare. And definitely, please don't compare your wife to anybody else in the church. Because you don't live with them. You don't sleep on the same bed with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people come out, they all put on their best. Okay? If you go to their house to and see how they live there, you'll be surprised when you see them.
Yeah.
So once you stop comparing your spouse to somebody else, then it means that you have come to the place of acceptance. Acceptance is that, listen, this is my cross, I'm going to carry it. Good or bad, I'm going to carry it. And when you do that, then grace to begin to understand your wife, grace to begin to love, grace. And I'm telling you, love, and Prophetess just commented it, love covers a multitude of sins.
Yes, that's
when I love you, I become more forgiving, more understanding, more mellowed, more, humble in helping, in supporting, in communicating and talking to you. But if I don't love you, I'm puffed up. I think I'm better than you.
Oh, yeah.
I think, and if I can accept you, it means that I think that you are below me.
Yeah.
And then you start comparing your wife to somebody else. Don't do that. It is foolishness. In fact, the Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians that they that compare themselves with one another are not wise.
That's true.
It's foolishness to try to compare your wife to somebody else. And if you have been in a relationship before, and before you are in a new one, or you have been married before you are in a new one, and you want to compare negatively your new wife, your husband, your new wife with your ex, why are you not married to your ex?
Yes.
If it was that good, why are you coming to marry me? So in itself, it doesn't make sense. So we really want to encourage you. There need to be an acceptance.
It is.
If the marriage is going to work.
Okay. And I want us to touch on communication before we finish this thing. How important is communication?
The acceptance here comes in the sense of having a loving, honest communication.
Okay.
This and this and this is about you that I don't like.
Okay.
How do we work through it? That means that, and you see, accepting somebody doesn't mean that you are sweeping away the problem and you are ignoring the problem. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Why do you do this and this? How do I come in to help you?
Okay.
That's where communication comes in. When we talk, one day I was having a conversation with my daughter, and it has to do with, cleaning a room and keeping a room clean, And one day she just broke down and said, I just don't know how to do it. It melted my heart, it touched my heart, and from that time, I began to try to see, how do I help her? She's like, I really want to keep my room clean. I'm frustrated. And so we come and we are angry. Why can't you keep your room this? Look at your brother's room. Look at this person's room. And that was actually hurting her. And when I began to understand that, she really wants to do right. But she's struggling doing that. And we had that honest conversation. I began to try to help her. This and this is what you do. When you take things, remember to put it back. And when you wake up every day, before you go anywhere, make your bed. Do this, do that. So it's we talking about the issues that come in an honest, open way. And this is what sometimes also can be bad in the communication. When the one who has the issue, and we are talking about it, begin to think that I am being attacked, then it becomes a problem.
Wow, okay.
You cannot see, because if we can't talk about it, we can't resolve it. And if I bring up the issue that is genuinely eating me up, and you are going to see it like me picking up on you, me attacking you, then it's also not fair to me. Because communication requires that we talk about everything openly in a loving atmosphere. I'm not saying this thing because you are a bad person. And you are not doing this thing because you are a bad person. Because if you're a bad person, I wouldn't have married you. If you're a bad person, I wouldn't have loved you. If you're a bad person, I wouldn't have cared about you. It's just a weakness. And we have to work together to see how we overcome it. But sometimes people are in denial. Sometimes people see it and they process the whole thing wrongly. And if you begin to process it wrongly, you are not being fair. Because then now you are making the other person feel like, oh, you are a bad person to even bring the subject up. All right? Then we leave the issue, it's eating him up. That's why people don't talk about these issues. And then one day from nowhere, I want out. And then why you want out? Oh, this and this and that. Oh, why didn't you? Let's talk about it. Because when I brought it back, you were crying. When I brought it back, you made me feel like I was attacking you. And because I didn't want you to cry, and because I don't want you to think that I hate you and I'm attacking you, I decided not to talk about it no more. Listen, it is not good for your husband or your wife to be having an issue or a challenge and doesn't want to talk about it. It's not a good thing, and we cannot allow that to happen.
Wow. Okay, so I think communication is really, really very important. It's very important as love, is very important as sex. Communication is very good. You always have to remember that your wife or your husband is not a mind reader. Especially ladies. He have to figure it out. He can't figure anything out. He's not a mind reader.
He's not a mind reader.
So if you don't open your mouth and say whatever you want to say, and most of us, we, instead of talking, we use our actions,
attitude,
our facial, our attitude. I'm number one guilty on that. I won't open my mouth, but my attitude will let you know that there's something cooking. There's something coming. There's a bomb on this way. There's a bomb coming. And if you don't stop, it's going to explode on your face. And it doesn't help, okay? So let's talk. I know some of us, we are very hard. For me, communication is one of my weakness. I don't like talking. I just don't like talking. And sometimes if I can't express myself well, then it turns to another thing, then it will turn to another thing. And so I tend to will keep everything, but then my attitude will change. My attitude will change. Everything about me will change, which is also not good. It makes people think, oh, what have I done? Where is this attitude coming from? And my husband will always say, well, let's trust God as much as possible if we want our home to be peaceful, build up wonderful as God wants it, we have to talk. If
The-
you have to
and
write
should
it
it-
down, write it down.
the-
But
the-
talk about things.
There can't be a genuine acceptance until there's a proper communication.
Okay.
There have to be an honest, loving communication about the challenges and the issue about a relationship. Talk about the things you love. Talk about the things you don't love. Talk about the things that worry you. Talk about the things that you are happy about, things that you are not happy about, and let nobody see it as, oh, I'm being picked on, somebody is attacking me, and all of that. When we do that, it's not proper, it hurts the relationship. Listen, I would rather want to stay married than divorce. So I'd rather talk about it, and let's swallow our pride, let's swallow our ego, let's swallow our selfishness, and live, because marriage is a community.
Yeah.
It's not a selfish, self-centered thing. If you want to be selfish, then don't marry. And still single.
Oh, yeah.
But marriage is a community.
Yeah.
Two becomes a community. And how can two work together? I said they be in agreement.
Yeah.
So we have to talk and we have to be honest. If there's too much pepper in the stew, we got to talk about it. Okay? Yes, I ignored it the first day. Second day, I ignored it. Third day, maybe because I didn't talk about it, you thought it was okay. Honey, this thing is very nice. But I think that my nose is running out of the spiciness of the pepper. Can you please? And don't see it as an attack. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If I can tell you, who should tell you? Are you waiting for the Joneses to come and visit us and they start having a running stomach because, you know, the pepper was too hot and they couldn't handle it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Prophet says that in other words, we cannot sweep it under the rug and think it will go away. It's time to communicate. It's very, very important. So we have to talk about it. But sometimes, really, don't you think that sometimes the way the communication aspect comes, like as you said, there was too much pepper in the soup. There is a way that you will say it, you know,
Yeah.
that will make the person know that, oh, okay, I know there's too much pepper in the soup. And the way, even the way you said it,
Yeah.
they will take it, but not offensive way.
Yeah.
And there's another way too that, you know, you say, oh, come and take your soup. Look at how, you know.
Yeah.
So
And that's
I think
bad
we
communication.
have to
Yeah,
check
so
that aspect.
that's bad communication. That's what we said. An honest, loving communication.
Yeah.
Honest, loving communication. So how you say when you say,
Say.
how you say when you say. Okay, like she rightly gave an example. If I come and then first day there was too much pepper, I didn't say anything. Second day, too much pepper, I didn't say anything. Third day, and now I get angry. I burst out. Oh, why are you always? The thing is there. Why are you always, you know, cooking and doing this, blah, 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 and all of that? Guess what? Guess what? It is the way I'm communicating.
Okay.
But if I can, oh, honey, please, it looks like there's too much pepper in there. Can you please watch it and do something about that? It will solve all these problems.
Yeah.
So how I say it, when I say it.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't also correct these in front of the children. I can't wait until when there's a guest in front of everybody. Oh, honey, the food has too much pepper. Can you come and take it and go? That's an embarrassment. Even if I say it in a sweet, romantic way, it will be some way.
Yeah.
All right? So when I say it, how I say it can make a lot of difference.
Ah, okay. So thank you so much for joining us
Pastor
today.
Nana.
Yeah, today we were looking at 3 things that every married need. It have to be in there. We have spoken about love, we break it down very, very wonderfully. Acceptance, very wonderfully. Acceptance is where the communication also comes in very, very wonderfully. The third one, our time is gone, but we're going to put the third one in, and that is the security aspect. Letting your partner feel secure and in the relationship. How important is that? How important
It's
is
key. It's key. Is my future secure with you?
Okay.
Number one, if you give me the love I need. Number two, if you accept me as who God created me to be, it's easy for me to feel secured.
Okay.
If I'm not getting the love that I need, if I don't feel accepted in a marriage and in a relationship, I am not going to be secured in a marriage.
Wow.
And security in women, the number one requirement of a woman in a marriage, apart from love, is security.
Yeah.
How secure am I? If a woman feels that your mother comes first before her, she doesn't feel secure.
Wow.
If she feels like the children comes first before her, she doesn't feel secure. If she feels like your work comes first before her, she doesn't feel secure. If she feels like the ministry comes first before her, she is not secured. Security basically makes a person feel like you are all important to me. And last week we took our time to look at it. If you take God out of the picture, who's next?
Yeah.
It ought to be your spouse. Not even your children, your spouse. And the mistakes some of you make, even women, it's like you came and married me to give you a baby.
Yeah.
Now that you have children, guess what? You forgot about me. You come and put the babies in the bedroom. And you put the baby between the two of us. How can there be romance? The baby should not sleep in the bedroom.
Okay.
In the master's bed with you people. Oh, a baby cries, I have to wake up. I don't care how many times the baby cries. The baby is supposed to be in the crib.
Yeah.
Go put the baby in the baby's cot. It's wrong. And so the man feel like, okay, now since you have had a child, it looks like, as for me, you have packed me aside.
Yeah.
And all I become is a provider. Providing for you, paying rent, paying mortgage, and paying car note, and feeding you. That's all. The man doesn't feel secured. I think maybe we'll touch about that some other time.
Yes,
But
yes.
security here is this. And to women, if we are going to feel secure, please, we need our respect. Our respect. Give us that respect. And if you respect me, you will listen to me. If you respect me, you will honor me, both in public and in private.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. I've noticed that Pastor Nana is there. Pastor Nana is going to join us next week as Woman of Influence to talk about some of the powerful things as we conclude the month of May, because next week is ending the month of May, and it has been a very blessed one that we are able to talk about 18 years of God's faithfulness. And it's still very, very interesting. Yesterday, my husband gave me an assignment, and I laugh about him. If you want to know what the assignment was, next week, tune in, and I will tell you the assignment that he gave me. I'm like, 18 years, you are not giving me this assignment. But it was very, very interesting, and it's make it good, make it wonderful. Thank you so much once again for joining today. Please continue to share the video with somebody, tag somebody to come in. And next Tuesday, my sister Nana Adadi is going to join us here, and we're going to conclude this wonderful topic that how do we even put the topic on?
Next week?
No. The whole month. It was like 18 years of God faithfulness.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
That's not, it was supposed to be friendship. So what we're going to do is we will do the friendship next month. Who qualify to be your friend? Who can you call as your friend? Because most of the time, our friends put us in trouble because we think everybody is our friend.
Yeah.
So next month we're going to do that. But next week you don't want to miss it, because we're going to conclude this topic with a very good friend of us, and I know that your life will not be the same again. But once again, thank you so much for joining me today, and Thank you for all your comments. Please continue to share the video and let it be a blessing. I told you, I think last week, that Hands of Grace, the mission work that I do, this summer we're going to do wonderful things. We have a lot of work in Africa. We have a lot of work in Jamaica. So if there's any way you want to support what I do, please go to our website, and any donation will go and support a child to go to school, uniform, feeding, and everything. A widow with children who don't know where food will come from will have food on their table. The children will be able to go to school, and everything is set because you have decided to be a blessing to somebody. So please, if you want to support Hands of Grace this summer, just go to our website, www.handsofgraces.com. We're going to put it out there. Just go there, and any donation will be a blessing to a child or a widow somewhere. Thank you so much again for joining me, and go out there and be the powerful man and woman of influence God I call you to be. Till I see you next week, Tuesday. Bye. God bless you.